I would tell my brother to just come forward and get us out of this horrible mess.
Hello and welcome to True Crime Rocket Science, the most authentic voice in true crime. That was Cassie Laundrie saying something that was repeated during the Sermon on the Lawn. I don't know whether that was said after she spoke to the protesters or before, but it was certainly something that was suggested by someone there that is something that she needs to do. So one wonders whether she took the advice. Does anyone know this for sure? So in this episode, we're going to bring the narrative back to Gabby, and we're going to look at Gabby's sibling, her younger brother, as opposed to Brian's older sister. And that younger brother's name is TJ Schmidt. His profile on Instagram is quite witty. It's Schmidt Happens. And there are a couple of heartfelt posts for his older sister, such as this one on September 17th, where he writes, "The grueling search for my older sister continues every day. If you can help, please do." And that is then followed by another one on September 20th. "I don't even know what to say. I'm at a total loss. My heart is shattered." And then 2 days later, this image of Gabby with a wolf. "Gonna miss you till the end, Gabs. Hashtag justice for Gabby." TJ Smith is 19 years old, so he's around about 3 years younger than Gabby. And I believe it was his high school graduation that she went to attend in New York just prior to departing on their summer epic on July 2nd. Now, for the rest of this episode, I want to deal with something that some of you may not be familiar with, and that is Gabby Petito's Twitter profile. And around about 88 tweets she posted over the course of about an 8-year period. But before we get to that, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. You can click on the light blue icon on the bottom right of your screen. Like, share, leave a comment, and let's get started.
Let's get the obvious stuff out of the way.
So this is Gabby Petito's Twitter page. Once again, I think the follower numbers are a little misleading based on people flooding there after this case started becoming high profile. Incidentally, Gabs Petito, and there's a link to her Instagram profile on her Twitter profile, that has now reached 1.2 million followers. There are 98 posts on her Instagram and 188 tweets on her Twitter, but spread over about 8 years. And so this is the background image. Just Gabby with the background of mountains, a mountain range, and then the profile image, again, just Gabby and sort of a rocky outcrop behind her. And that brings us to her very last post, posted on July 19th, and the word calm. The Moab incident would take place less than 1 short month later. So it is quite a ironic post given what we know has happened since then. You know, if anything, the Gabby Petito case has been kind of a shitstorm through social media. It's been quite crazy how crazy this case has gone. You've got a manhunt going on right now, and you've got the person that was with her being described as the most wanted man in America, and Gabby being described as America's daughter. And all that against this backdrop of calm at this moment on July 19th. And of course, things would escalate, tensions would escalate, things would not be calm going forward. There would not be calm near the Archer's entrance during the Moab incident, and there would not be calm during the Mary Piglet's incident, and there would not be calm after Brian arrived at home and then left again, and there's not calm in front of Cassie's home and the Laundrie's home. If anything, it's sort of a cacophony of protests and squawking protesters, right? And so it's just ironic. This is like the calm before the storm. So not long after this particular post, Gabby's summer epic would be over permanently. This was fated to be her final summer on Earth, and now as the seasons swivel on, Gabby's gone. One of the benefits of social media, particularly in true crime, is that the social media of the dearly departed does linger, does live on, providing a kind of voice for the victim, in their own words, from beyond the grave. This is Gabby's, and we at the finish of her online narrative on Twitter from about 2 months ago, and then we're going to go to the beginning, and it starts off in October 2013, 8 years ago, when Gabby was 14 years old. Her Twitter narrative is about brevity above all. 188 posts in all cover over the course of 8 years. So if you do the math, it's 188 posts over 8 years, and that averages to just under 24 posts a year, which is around about 2 per month, which is not a lot. And so these 8 years, this last third of her life, is reduced to sound bites, Gabby's aphorisms for herself. So let's go through it. On February the 27th, obviously 2021, just good morning, and a emoticon of looks like a kiwi fruit and a sun. And then a few days before that, 4 days earlier, a photo of healthy food, avocado toast, turkey bacon and egg white, and a couple of emoticons for that, and a smiley face and yum. And so there's quite a lot of that sort of in her social media, this interest in nature, this interest in health, this interest in sort of good, clean, natural, right? And then there are quite a few retweets. The universe bleeds stars, leaving pools of galaxies. September 11, 2017. That was obviously 4 years to the day that Brian was reported missing, right? Think about those words, the universe bleeds stars. And then another retweet several months earlier. These past few days, what I've been appreciating is sleep. Sleep has finally become my friend. We know that Brian apparently had trouble with insomnia. About a month earlier, or still in 2017, don't hate, meditate. And I do think that was something that they applied, that Gabby and Brian applied this sort of idea of don't argue, just calm down by just sort of sitting somewhere and meditating. I'm not sure if that's always so effective. Sometimes, I'm not saying you need to argue, but sometimes you do need to discuss what is going on. And you can't sort of shut someone down and say, go and meditate, come back when you've calmed down. Sometimes you've got to get the other person's perspective, and you've got to communicate. Then about 9 days before that, Gabby Petito is at school 20 minutes early. New year, new me, guys. So again, just a reminder that this is a very young soul, a very young spirit. Then some photos of the of sort of waves on the beach. I actually took similar photos not that long ago. This is from December 7th, obviously middle of winter where she was. And then November 29th, 2016, the word darling and a smiley face. And it seems as though possibly around this time she may have met Brian, or certainly it seems to have something to do with her heart and perhaps someone that she likes. And then she retweets something from Emilia, who writes, "You're still glowing, girl," and a sort of a heart symbol. And then, earlier that same month, November 7th, "I'm finally happy, and that's all that matters." And so one does get the sense that she may have met Brian, or something of significance happened around November 2016. So the question is this a reference to Brian on November 7th, 2016? We go back further in time, October 31st, 2016, "Freaking love bats, I love Halloween." And then one day before that, "Free your mind from negativity." And I think that was also something that was playing out during the summer epic. Getting over the niggles, the struggles with not much money, the self-doubt, the lack of belief from Brian, trying to put the negativity behind her. And I also think in a bigger way it was trying to put the pessimism of the pandemic behind them and try and sort of move out into the world positively, confidently, boldly, and make something, make a new life, make a new future. Then 4 days before that is a retweet from Late Night Lobster. I don't ever want to feel like I did that day. I'm not quite sure what that's a reference to. And then almost a month before that, another retweet from Just a Friend. Me, what's this fridge for? Gabby, we usually put juice in it. Okay, just typical, her, I guess, typical sense of humor. Then quite a big jump all the way to April 30th, 2016. Nothing is real. And I must say, I personally feel a lot like that about the case right now. You've got people claiming sightings. You've got YouTube channels that are, snapping up these fake sightings and making hay while the sun shines, kind of thing. And we're in that limbo period where it does feel like nothing is real. Brian, somewhere there are all these fruitless searches going on, much ado about nothing. And it does feel like nothing is real except that Gabby's no longer with us and Brian is somewhere, we don't know where. Then February 8th, just sleeping. Quite a weird one there. And then going to 2015, October 17th, a retweet of organic DMT, sleep, the moment when your mind can decide to enter many different parts of the void in which knowledge exists eternally. Pretty deep, right? Then September 10th, now we're going to almost 6 years before Brian went on the run, and Gabby tweeted, I love the sound of rain. It makes me want to go back to bed. Simple, but there's something, I don't know, something quite meaningful in some of these messages. Then on August 21st, something just to give you an idea of what Generation Z are dealing with, and just to what extent social media and new media is part of their existence. She tweets, Netflix is taking over my life, right? A lot of their lives are spent online, but what I really mean by that is compared to Generation X and the boomers and everybody else, at their age, certainly we didn't even have the internet, right? So how do you deal with that, being online all the time? Does that educate you enough for the big wide world? Does it teach you how to deal with conflict or crisis or social situations or anxiety? Then the next one is from May 7th, 2015. Again, quite a big leap. Gabby retweets psychedelic feelings. I just want to do fun, cute, adventurous shit with everyone or with someone. And that's exactly what I think she did want. That was kind of what the spirit of the summer epic was. Now think about that tweet in May 2015 and what she was sort of preoccupied with 6 years later. It was wanting to do cute, adventurous, with someone. And that's exactly what she did. I think it was cute, it was adventurous, but I think there was also that other thing. There was also the downer side, the SHIT side, right? Then April 22nd, 2015, aliens are our higher selves. A little bit cryptic. Then March 18, 2015, wow, I'm so in love with the universe. March 7th, 2015, I just made myself a bowl of cereal and then there's no milk. Then March the 1st, 2015, if you want to be happy, be. And that's from retweet from Abstract Thoughts. October 21st, 2014, when you make this much cereal with bananas and there's no milk. So it's a repeat almost many, many months earlier of the same sort of breakfast thing. On March the 1st, contemplating happiness. Then on September 1st, 2014, for a retweet of Deluge, when we kissed, two universes collided. One wonders what that's about. Seems like it predates Brian, or maybe it's just hypothetical. Another retweet of Savannah Montana from July 25th, 2014. I just happen to love, yeah. I just happen to love, yeah. Not quite sure what that means. July 21st, 2014. Because I love the music more and more. Also not quite sure what that refers to. July 1st, 2014. Happy July. And then a sunflower. 1st of June 2014, always curious about the things I don't know. May 22nd, 2014, look like something, feel like something. Tay, another retweet. Oh, sorry, that's the same one. Then on May 17th, 2014, the sound of rain when falling asleep. Seems like that is just kind of a reference to liking that feeling of being soothed and not being anxious. Then May 6th, 2014, not sure what that's about, laughing so hard I'm crying. And then April 27th, I saw galaxies in your eyes and just want to explore them until the end of time. One gets a sense that she's quite a romantic, right? Then Ariana Grande retweeted on April 19. April 5th, 2014, that feeling of waking up and thinking you're late to school, but then realizing it's Saturday. And then January 23rd, 2014, geometry will forever be the most pointless class ever, proving triangles congruent. I'm sure that'll be useful at some point in my life. So railing a little bit against, school life, right? And then, these last few tweets, these last four from the beginning of 2014 and sort of the last part of 2013 are pretty poignant. They're pretty portentous. If you think about the fact that these are on the far side of a Twitter narrative and how ominous they are in a way to what actually happened to Gabby. So think about this one, January 14, 2014, Calm is a Beautiful Thing from Savannah Montana. And one's got to wonder, is there going to be karma in the Gabby Petito case? Is the person responsible for what happened to Gabby going to run into his own karma? Then December 29th, 2013, Good Vibes. And that is within the context of another tweet 10 days earlier on December 19th, 2013. Everyone in this house is so annoying, right? So you have this sense of annoyance, then good vibes, and then karma. And then we go to the very first tweet ever, is October 10th, 2013. Just think of these words, overthinking is what kills me. And if you take the very first tweet and 3 tweets later, it goes from overthinking is what kills me to calm is a beautiful thing. Or overthinking is what kills me, good vibes, calm is a beautiful thing. Or overthinking is what kills me, everyone in this house is so annoying, good vibes, calm is a beautiful thing. It's kind of a interesting synopsis of the summer epic. And I personally think that Gabby was someone who perhaps thought too much. A lot of very idealistic young people do that. I think the Moab incident was very much overthought by everybody. It didn't need to be so dramatic. It didn't need to take an hour to get everyone's statements. You also get a sense from Gabby herself that, she says she's OCD and she was in a bad mood and this and that, and she probably was overthinking it. One of the ways to calm down is just to slow down the pace at which you're thinking. One of the ways to calm down is just to empty your mind, right? And I think the same statement kind of applies perhaps to Brian. Did he overthink what was going on? Was he studying or spying on Gabby's social media, and the overthinking around that is what led him to take matters too far? What do you guys think? I mean, him being a fugitive right now, is that also about overthinking? So, in summary, when you look at this Twitter narrative, it begins with the storms of youth, and perhaps that's where it ends. And then a preternatural calm, and adults murmuring to a worldwide audience, backgrounded by her pictures, murmuring her own words at the world, let it be. The words are like a whisper to a hurricane. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.